65 years old. I'm going to be 66, and I am a secretary. I understand I still have a job when I go back home. I love my family and I miss them. So I'm looking forward to seeing them again next week. As a matter of fact, we're going home, and I get to play with my little nephews, and I miss them terribly. I hope they remember who I am. And I'm looking forward to doing the things I used to do. George and I like to hike in Utah and around New Jersey, right, honey? And having friends over, seeing my friends again would be nice. They've been so helpful to me. I just can't wait to see them and spend time with them. I was being evaluated for lung transplant for pulmonary fibrosis. On the scans, my CT scan showed a tumor. So we had biopsy, and it was squamous carcinoma. And I was told I could not have a lung transplant at that facility. My sister found the Northwestern program online with Dr. Barat, and I called them, and they sent them my records, and Dr. Barat called me, and he said that he and his team could help. So I went through chemotherapy. It was hard, it was tiring, but I had a goal of a transplant in mind and trying to keep the cancer from spreading, because I understood that I could not have the transplant if it spread to other organs in my body. So lucky for me, it had not. I met Dr. Shee when I came for my evaluation. He was very kind to me, and I remember that he said he would pray for me. And I thought that was very nice of him, because we weren't really sure if I was going to be transplanted or not. I was going to be on the list for donation. But I passed all the tests, the biopsies, everything went well, and I was so relieved that I was told I could be listed for transplant. It was such a big relief to me, because I was really getting ready to die, and I didn't want to leave. Brooke is the person that did the intake and the evaluation scheduling, and she would call me and tell me to get a CT, and she would arrange for me to have one. Sometimes she would coordinate with my oncologist in New Jersey so I could get scanned in New Jersey and they could get the images, so I wouldn't have to have all of the images done here. And that was very helpful to me, because then I didn't have to spend so much time in a hotel, in Chicago. And all of even the technicians were very kind. They were very thoughtful. They knew I was here for, a transplant. So I think when people know that you're so sick, they show some compassion, and grace. They give you a lot of grace. I was on 10 liters of oxygen. My husband and my sister had to push me around in a wheelchair. It was a tough thing to go through, but the end result was a miracle. My husband and I have grown a lot closer. We've spent a lot of time together, and he's been taking care of me so very well, and made it his life's mission that I would have everything that I needed. And I remember I had an EEG when I was in the ICU after surgery, and they put that glue in your hair, and he was there with a comb, and I couldn't even move. And he was combing out all the little, he really cared about me, and I thought that was such a sweet thing to care about, that he was caring about my hair. And I didn't have that much to begin with from the chemotherapy. So it was just so sweet. And the care team, they were wonderful here. They were caring. They kept me informed. I remember being very upset one day when the pulmonologist, Dr. Arun, said, you know, we have to look for more cancer, and if we find it in a certain place, you're not going to be able to have the surgery. And I just was devastated because we went through all this testing and went through chemotherapy, and I'm thinking, oh, what it was for all nothing. And I made, you know, I got weaker and sicker, and it was for nothing. But it worked out. So there were times when I was upset, you know, and scared, really scared. And my doctors in New Jersey were so thrilled for me that I was here. They never heard of the train program, so they were looking it up.
Wow.
They were, I think one pulmonologist, he got in touch with one of his patients that was having a hard time and told them to call here. To see if he, you know, so it was good for them too, you know.
Yes. Very inspiring. Yeah,
it
truly,
was.
yes.
It really was. So.
You know,
when they called me and told me I could be listed, that was such a joy and a relief, because I knew my breathing was getting worse, and I knew that if I was listed, they would keep me alive.
Yes.
You know, if it was ECMO or something.
Yes.
To make sure that I could get a transplant. So. I heard the doctors talking when I was in ICU and I wasn't all the way conscious. And I heard them talking about a stroke. That I had a stroke, or they thought I had a stroke, and I got worried about it. And I thought, oh, am I paralyzed? And I know that I was thinking, so I thought, well, my brain is working, so that's good. And then when I became more self-aware, I couldn't move my legs because I had been sedated for a long time, and I thought I was paralyzed. I thought that I was going to have to work, and I did have to work hard to get it, but it wasn't from a stroke. But it was scary, and I couldn't speak because I had the vent.
Intubated, I see.
Yeah, I was intubated, so I couldn't speak.
Oh.
That was hard.
It must be very frustrating, I can imagine.
Well, nobody can read lips, I found out.
I was terrible.
Everybody said, we can't read your lips. And my hands were shaking so much from the med that I couldn't write well. So that was hard. Communicating was hard. Well, when I was told in New York that I couldn't have a transplant because of the cancer, I was given a death sentence again. And then when I was told by Dr. Barat to come out and be evaluated, that gave me hope again, that I could be transplanted and I could live, my life again. So I was grateful for that chance. Yeah, I learned a lot of lessons. And the lessons that I learned was to take everything in stride and not get upset about the little things. To be grateful for what you have and try to do good. Try to be kind to other people because you don't know what they're going through. But that was a really big lesson for me, that I thought my life was ending and I felt that I could do more to help people. And that's what I would like to do with the life that I've been given. I would advise the students to look for other ways to get better because if my sister hadn't found Dr. Barat on the internet, I wouldn't be here today. You know, I don't know that I would have found it on my own. My doctors certainly in New Jersey did not look up anything that they could do. There was just simply nothing that they could do. They felt that they could do to help me. You know, it almost made no sense for me to go through chemotherapy because I had pulmonary fibrosis. So I had to persuade my oncologist in New Jersey to connect with Dr. Barat because his focus was curing my cancer. But I said, well, you can cure my cancer, but you can't cure the pulmonary fibrosis, and I'm looking for a transplant. And he understood that, you know. It's just I had to point that out to him that it didn't make sense for me to have chemotherapy unless I had that transplant. Don't give up. Sometimes I think I told George once that I wanted to go on hospice. I think it was during a time I was going through chemotherapy and I felt so sick. And he was going to work and I was all alone in the house. And I felt very sad and lonely. And I thought, well, maybe it's just my time to go. You have to get past that. It's very hard, but you have to do it. My sister Lorraine was very helpful in giving me hope and comforting me. So I appreciate it. And all my friends praying for me. Just everybody praying for me. I had no idea that so many people cared about me. So that was a very nice feeling that I was loved so much.
Your family, your friends.
Yes, it was really remarkable to me that so many people cared so much. Certainly prayed a lot more. I prayed for a miracle. I said the rosary every day and asked the Blessed Mother to ask Jesus to help me. I know that a lot of my friends had masses said for me, and they prayed for me. I know that my mother was praying for me, and my sisters. It helped me. It brought me comfort, especially when I said the rosary. You know, I just would sit in a chair all by myself in a quiet time, and I would say the rosary, and it was nice. I found some quiet time, and it was meditative. Yeah, I did. It gave me. I guess I asked God to just, give me the strength to get through it all, and if I couldn't survive this, to just, please take me peacefully. I think when I woke up from surgery, I said big thank you.
Yes.
I said, thank you, God. Well, I'm awake, and I'm still here.
Yes.
When I remember going into the surgery and kissing my husband goodbye, I told him I loved him, so he would know if I didn't survive, that was the last thing I had said to him. And I'm sorry that I'm emotional.
Oh, I understand. Like, you feel free to express
that's
however.
That's not going to ruin your YouTube.
It's okay. No need to fear about. Everyone understand. This is a big event to.
Yeah. Well,
How would you describe?
I have a lot of faith. I don't pray a lot. I prayed a lot while I was very sick. But every day when I wake up, I thank God. Thank you, God, for letting me wake up.
Yes.
And thank you for all of my blessings, because I have a lot of them. And you guys are part of it.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah.
Honestly, being able to witness your journey, and we'll continue to pray for you as well.
I appreciate that very much. No.
But just in general, all these
Yes.
moments, having quiet
Yes,
time with
yeah,
him.
and you know, asking the Blessed Mother to help me, and, you know, give me peace.
Yes.
That's what I wanted, was peace. And I got it.
You had a peace whenever you have time with
Yes,
Mm,
and I
quiet
would
time with
pray
God,
and,
prayer.
Right. And I had a lot of time alone, quiet time.
Yes.
And that's what I used it for do, and it calmed me down quite a bit, you know, because I was scared.
So it's more of an overall your whole prayer time and it's
yeah,
been giving
yeah.
you
When I was
hope
alone,
and peace.
it would be a peaceful time for me. So that was it.
Thank you for sharing your beautiful story, and I'm sure like it will resonate with a lot of other people who's like you, or also healthcare professions as well. All these people will be inspired by your story
I
and your
hope
experience.
so. I hope so. I feel very blessed that I met the people that I met here, especially in the medical field.
Yes.
When I went to Chicago, you know, I'd never been before. I think the people in the Midwest are very, very kind.
Yes.
And I don't know if
Truly,
it was the healthcare or, you know, but I noticed that people are very kind here, and the medical staff, the doctors, the nurses were very kind and patient with us.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you had a lot of questions, or I would just get really scared. Dr. Shee was very, very nice. I remember I was in the hospital and I saw I was scheduled for chemo, and I didn't know I was going to have it. So I called his nurse, and she must have told him, and he came running up to my hospital room to sit and talk to me about it. And I thought, wow, that's really nice. I know he's very busy. So I just thought that was an extra kindness, you know, to reassure me that, you know, I wasn't dying again. And that's kind of what I was scared about, was, you know, having more cancer to deal with. So I thought it was kind.